everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Crawford. I'm the Reference and Adult Services Librarian at the Ponte Vedra Beach Prance Library, and I am joined by my favorite kid in the whole world. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I actually want you to introduce yourself first, Mom.
Oh, but I already did, Lucy. Got put on those listening ears. Okay. Who are you?
My name's Lucy, and I'm 8 years old, and I'm in the 3rd grade. I go to Valencia Elementary School, and I'm really happy to be here with my mom, sharing and helping her with her job at the library. So I'm just really happy to be here.
And Lucy is also an expert in this particular topic that we're sharing today, graphic novels and hybrid novels, which are a wonderful way to get kids interested in reading, or in the case of Lucy, who's an avid reader, keeping them excited about reading. So I thought before we dive in on some of our favorite graphic novel and hybrid novel titles, I should first say, what is a graphic novel? Well, a graphic novel is every bit of what it implies. A novel, like a chapter book, has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It has plot, it has characters, it has a whole story all contained in one book, even if it's part of a series. It's an entire tale. And basically a graphic novel is a novel, but told in a graphic format. So oftentimes graphic novels get confused with comic books, and they're not at all the same. A graphic novel is completely a novel in its own right. It's just told in pictures, in a panel of pictures that looks similar to a comic book, but does have, like I said, the beginning, the middle, and the end. Sometimes people don't think that graphic novels count as real literature, and I'm hoping that after this presentation you no longer feel that way, because several graphic novels in the last few years have made the Sunshine State Young Reader Award list, as well as the Sunshine State Young Reader Award Junior list. And those lists are created by media specialists across the state of Florida and are on many school reading lists throughout St. Johns County. So if the media specialists and the schools believe that these are in fact real literature, as a librarian, I completely agree. And they're, like I said, they're a great way to get your kid excited about reading. And if you do have a reluctant reader, it's a great way to get them into the habit of reading, especially in the summer when the sky's the limit. Now, hybrid novel is also what it implies. A hybrid novel is a cross between a graphic novel and a chapter book. So instead of telling the story through a panel of pictures or telling the story purely in words, it has words, but it also has a lot of pictures along with the words. So to me, a hybrid novel is a really great story, not only like to engage an avid reader like Lucy, but also for someone who maybe has just learned how to read as well and isn't ready necessarily for a full-blown chapter book like Harry Potter, for example. So our hybrid novels in the library system are incredibly popular, as are our graphic novels. So if you haven't checked out either, I really recommend that you do. I spent 17 years as a youth services librarian. I'm now a reference and adult services librarian, and I know that both of those kinds of books are really popular, and you're probably going to recognize some of the titles we shared today. And in fact, this is by no means all the titles of graphic novels or hybrid novels in the library system, just some of our favorites. So I thought we'd jump into that portion of our presentation, because that's the really fun part. And like I said, if you're watching this presentation and you'd like to comment on what some of your favorite graphic novels or hybrid novels are, I certainly encourage you to do that. So now, Lucy, it's over to you to introduce our first graphic novel, one of your personal favorites.
Dogman. When I first started reading Dogman, I fell in love with the book, and I wanted more and more and more and more. And I just kept wanting to read it, because it's a graphic novel, so technically it has really funny pictures, and it's just a really fun book for kids. And I know a lot of people that love this book, but still I cannot stop reading this because it's so funny.
And Dogman is a title in our library system that always has an incredible amount of requests on it, even before the book comes out. So if you're an adult watching this presentation thinking children's books don't get long request lists, you are mistaken, because Dogman always does. And I will say this about Dogman, they've gotten really creative in the last few titles with tying them into classic novels like Grime and Punishment, or For Whom the Ball Rolls, and different little kind of play on word titles like that. So that's been a lot of fun. So I like how they've been relating to classic novels and kind of getting kids into those as well. Now, Cat Kid, who is a character in Dogman, is coming out with its own series this December. So if you're a big fan of Dogman, watch out for Cat Kid in December. All right, so next is my title.
Book.
That's right. So we talked about dogs. It seems only fair to talk about cats. Catstronauts. You might be familiar with this series because the first book of Catstronauts, Mission Moon, made the Sunshine State Reader Junior list in the last couple of years. So this is exactly what I was talking about, that graphic novels are making these really important reading lists that are becoming summer reading lists. So Catstronauts is a great series. I believe there's either 5 or 6 books out in the series right now. Each is its own complete tale, as I mentioned before. And I would encourage you to read them in order, but I don't think you necessarily spoil yourself. It's not like Harry Potter or Lemony Snicket, where if you read them out of order, you're going to spoil yourself for future parts of the tale. So you could read them out of order if you wanted to. And all of the books that we're sharing today are also available on Overdrive, so you can download the ebooks right onto your device, even right now if you wanted to. So Catstronauts is a great title. As you can tell, all these cats are having a blast here on the moon, literally. And it just seemed fair, if we talked about Dogman, to talk about Catstronauts. Yes, Lucy, what would you like to say?
So I wanted to say, I just wanted to kind of describe each character.
Oh, okay.
Well,
go ahead.
I mean, like a couple times when I read this first book, I mixed up this character with this character.
Oh, okay.
But they both kind of have the same personality. All these cats are pretty much the same, but they all are different in a way. And this is kind of the grumpy one sometimes. He's kind of like the boss. He's like, okay, we're gonna do this mission, no questions and no buts.
He kind of has that look about him, the way he's kind of ordering the rest of them.
And this is my favorite character. I think his name is Waffles. And see how he's holding a fish? I think he might be holding like bread right there. He is a fan of food. He's always sneaking out in the middle of the night to like dive into the refrigerator, and like when each of them wake up in the morning, they're like, where's all our food? And then Waffles comes like rolling out because he's a gigantic ball, and he's like, I did nothing.
So Catstronauts is a lot of fun. So Dogman, Catstronauts, these are both graphic novels that you should check out. So what is up next? Oh, we've got a totally different animal, a very unique animal. How about this one, Lucy? Narwhal.
Narwhal is one of my favorite books. I like miss that the author kind of ended it a little, and
you think that there's not going to be any new Narwhal?
No, I think there might be a new one, but because the last one, Narwhal's otter friend, was it kind of left you hanging at the end. So I think there might be another.
Whoa.
But Narwhal is a unicorn of the sea. His best friend Jelly,
here,
and Narwhal loves waffles. He only eats waffles. That's all he eats. Only eats waffles. Nothing else. He's never tried anything else. And sometimes in the later books, he could try something else, but it might get him into a little bit of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be a spoiler, because I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to zip it because I want you to be able to read this book and find out what happens in the other books.
Absolutely. And the Narwhal and Jelly series, which is a part of, once again, a Sunshine State Reader Junior in the last couple of years. And you'll know this because you'll see on the titles of the books in the library that they have the Sunshine State Reader Junior sticker on the spine. And again, available in Overdrive, a wonderful series and a lot of fun. And I'm with Lucy. I really hope they come out with a new book. All right, so on to our next graphic novel. Let's see here.
Remember,
Oh my
Mom,
goodness.
don't say anything too much because you don't want to be a spoiler.
I do not want to be a spoiler. You were absolutely right about that. All right, so now we got Noodleheads. Okay, so Ted Arnold wasn't content with just having Fly Guy. Now he's got Noodleheads. What do you think about this, Lucy?
Well, I just wanted to say at my school a couple of years ago, this was a Sunshine State Reader.
You are right.
The Noodleheads, technically, well, there's some guy named Meatball in there that kind of pranks them a little. He's a little mean bully. But the Noodles are identical, and they're really funny, and they, like, believe in stuff that anybody tells them. Like, if somebody tells them, if you fall off a tree, you will die and you will go into heaven immediately. So then they would just, maybe they would just try and do it. And sometimes none of that works and they just end up being silly.
So I'm going to teach everyone a new vocabulary word today for the kids who are watching. So they're a little bit gullible. They tend to believe whatever they hear. And Noodleheads is a lot of fun because, like I said, it's by the author who writes those wonderful Fly Guy books. And as Lucy mentioned, it's a Sunshine State Reader Junior, and it won the Theodore Seuss Geisel Award, the Dr. Seuss Award from the American Library Association. So once again, anyone ever tells you graphic novel, that's not really a book, think again. On the Sunshine State Reader list and on one of the American Library Association lists. So graphic novels definitely have a lot more clout than they've ever had before. So lots of fun. I think there's 3 or 4 books in this series. I'm looking forward to the next one by Ted Arnold. All right, now
I love this book.
on to one of our favorite graphic novel authors. Not only one of Lucy's favorite graphic novel authors, but she is so wildly popular, we cannot keep her books on the shelf. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Raina Telgemeier. And
oh my gosh, this is like the best book I have ever read. Like the first one I ever read was Sisters. That is the next book after Smile. And when I went to my school library in 2nd grade, Guts was on the shelf on Birthday Book Club. There were only 2 books, and my class went with a 4th grade class. And all the girls were like staring at those books, and I was like, people, don't rush me. I'm getting them first. And so when she said, okay, you can go check out, like, I zoomed and over there, and so did all the rest of the girls, and I grabbed it just before somebody else did. And I was like, I got it! And then there was another one on the shelf, and then all the girls looked at each other, and then they looked at the book, back at each other, and then the book, and they were like, and then they all rushed there. They got into a fight, and I was like, I already got this book, I'm walking away. So that, when I read that, I still really wanted to read Smile, because when my mom gave me like a diary about this, I saw a little bit of a preview of Smile, and I was like, Mom, get that from your library. So when I read it, it was kind of scary in the first part, and it was weird, but it turned out to be a really good story. So I have a million things to say about this book, but I'm going to zip it because I still don't want to be a spoiler, but I highly recommend you get somebody to read this, or you independently read this to yourself. It is like one of the best books ever, in my opinion.
Well, that's certainly high praise from Lucy, and it just goes to show it pays to have a mom who works for the library system. And let's not forget, Lucy, next time that Miss Flowers only has a couple of these books on the shelf, just remember, Mom can help you get it from the library system in case those 4th graders are really eager. So this is a great story, and Raina Telgemeyer's books are like slam dunks. Every time we buy one, 20, 30, 40 requests go on these books. Doesn't matter which one it is. The newest one, I believe, is Guts. And like I said, every single book Raina Telgemeier touches, it's like she's got the Midas touch. It's like it just turns into gold.
She's like has a magic touch, and
She
she
is.
turns it into something you really love.
Could be gold, could be chocolate.
Could be cheese.
All right, speaking of Raina Telgemeier, Raina Telgemeier is one of the contributing authors to a series I'm particularly excited about, and that is the Babysitter's Club. Now, my fellow Gen Xers out there, hold on, Lucy, let me finish. My fellow Gen Xers out there, remember reading the Babysitter Club chapter books when we were kids. And now they've made them into graphic novels, which I think is fantastic. They in no way take away from the chapter books. If anything, the authors who are getting smart about making graphic novel versions of their chapter books, it's really a great idea because you get the kid hooked on the graphic novel version. They want more details. They want to know more. And you say, hey, great news. We have those as chapter books. You know, if you can't go in a door, go in a window, whatever it takes to get someone to read. So there's the Babysitter's Club, and there's Babysitter's Little Sister. Raina Telgemeier doesn't illustrate all of them, but she did illustrate some, and they're phenomenal. And I can tell Lucy really wants to talk about this series, so go for it.
Well, I just wanted to say my teacher has the actual chapter books in her library, but she also has like 2 or 3 of the graphic novels, and like I rushed for them, but I kind of got a little bored because she only had those. But when I asked my mom to get them, she brought home a handful of books, and I like read. I skipped TV for like a million years, and I fell in love with this book. And the character, well, there's a new character in like the 2nd or 3rd book. Her name's Dawn, and this is Stacy. This is Marianne. This is, I cannot remember.
Christy.
And that's Claudia, a fan of food and gummy worms. But Babysitter's Little Sister is about Christy's little like cousin sister.
Her stepsister.
Yes. I forgot her name. Karen.
That's
Karen's
right.
her name. And Karen has a friend. But in the first book of Babysitter's Little Sister, Karen believes a witch lives next door to Christy's
Morbida
house.
Destiny. How many of you remember that name?
And she has a Karen has a cat, and the cat can get her into trouble. But Morbida Destiny ends up being a really nice person at the end of the book, and it's a really fun series. I think everybody should check it out.
I believe the next Babysitter's Club Little Sister book comes out in July of this year, and the next Babysitter's Club book graphic novel comes out in September. So you've got some new titles coming your way and definitely coming to your library. So make sure you put yourself on that wait list. So these are some of our favorite graphic novels. By no means an inclusive list because there are so many and they're all awesome in their own ways. But hopefully this gives you a little idea of some graphic novels that you could check out if you haven't already.
Okay, on to my next book. It's like 5
Oh, wait. Now we're going to move on to our hybrid novels. Remember, our hybrid novels are a blend of a regular chapter book and a graphic novel. So we classify those in the juvenile fiction section, and the first one is another one of those series we cannot keep on our shelves. You ready to introduce The Bad Guys?
Okay. Well, my mom brought this book home to me. What grade was I in?
First grade, I think.
Yep. When I read the first book, I thought it was really funny because at the start, that's Mr. Snake, Mr. Piranha, who always goes crazy, Mr. Shark, who will eat anything, and Mr. Wolf, who is the leader and sometimes can go crazy. The funny thing about Mr. Piranha is that everybody mistakes him for a sardine. Even though he's a piranha. And this is a really good book because it actually, like, when I first read it, it helped me bring out my funny side, because back then I was kind of a little boring kid, and
You were not
Yes, I was.
boring.
I
You
was
might have been a
kind
little shy, but you weren't ever boring.
yeah, but that actually helped me came out like my happiness, and I talked to people more, and I made more friends.
You got to be a little bit more outgoing.
Yes.
How about that?
And
Yes.
I got to be more crazy. And so this is a really fun book, and the books just keep going on and on and on. I highly encourage you to read it. It's very fun.
Again,
my mom might have something to say about it.
yes, again, a series we can't keep on our shelves. Always has a dozen or more requests on it anytime a new book comes out. Kids are just chomping at the bit to read this series. And once again, a Sunshine State Reader Junior series. So it just goes to show not only do graphic novels become Sunshine State readers, but hybrid novels do as well. So pretty awesome. So next, for our hybrid novels, I thought, the bad guys. How about we read about the good guys, or rather, the good girl? And so we have The Princess in Black. Now, I am always going to be a fan of this series because this was the first series that really got Lucy into chapter books. This is all it took. She read this series between kindergarten and first grade. She brought him to the YMCA summer camp, and I was particularly pleased when I picked her up one afternoon and the counselor told me not only did the girls in the group enjoy me reading aloud Lucy's book, but so did all the boys. So it just goes to show that just because a girl is the main character does not mean it's a girl book.
Mom, you never told me that. You should have told me.
Yes.
But I actually, when I first read this, I introduced it to the boys, and because I thought they would like it, because I just wanted to make up some happiness, and I expected them to say, "Oh, those are baby books. Those are for girls only. Get them out of our faces." But instead, they actually went like, "Oh yeah, can your mom bring home some of those so we can like read them, because we love these books?" And I'm like, "Well, if you want more, I can probably get my mom to bring home some." So I became really popular at YMCA summer camp because of my books. And at that time, I was kind of a nerd, so I was surprised.
You were not
Yes,
a nerd.
I am. I was a nerd.
Well, I'm glad I could help with it.
A good nerd.
A good nerd. A good nerd. All right, so the wonderful thing about The Princess in Black is that at first you think she's just the stereotypical princess drinking tea up in the tower, only you find out really quickly when the monster alarm goes off. She immediately drops her teacup, runs to the broom closet, transforms into the Princess in Black, slides down a pole, jumps on her horse, and races off to send the monsters right back
But the thing is,
out of town.
that technically the Princess in Black is secret. Nobody knows her identity.
Right.
And her horse, or you think is a horse, Blackie, whose actual name is like Sparkle or something, is actually a unicorn. It's a unicorn, but when the monster alarm on his hoof goes off, he dives into something and he transforms into Blackie, the mighty horse. And they meet up with each other and they fight monsters.
It's pretty amazing because one of the things I love about this book is it shows that an ordinary kid, or in this case a princess, can transform into a superhero, and I think that's something that appeals to all kids, whether you're boys or girls. So it's a fantastic series. There's a new book coming out this fall. I believe there's 6 books in the series right now, and they are just magic, whether or not it's your child jumping into chapter books for the first time like Lucy did, or if you want to do them as a read aloud before bed. Fantastic series. Check it out. Shannon Hale, Princess in Black.
My next
Oh,
favorite.
here we go. And the book is hot pink right there. All right, Lucy, what is this?
Dork Diaries. It's a really popular book at my school with the girls. And it's about a girl named Nikki. She's a very unpopular girl. and that's Mackenzie and her BFF, Jessica. And Mackenzie is the most popular person in the school. And she's a really mean girl, and she always judges Nikki. And the unfortunate thing is their lockers are right next to each other. Nikki has a secret crush, Brandon. But Mackenzie loves Brandon. And she's always trying to flirt with him. But at one of the last books, something surprising and romantic happens between Nikki and Brandon.
But you can't tell anybody because you don't want to be a spoiler. That's right. That's right. So Dork Diaries are kind of the female companion, if you will, to the next series that we're going to talk about. At least I think it's the next series. Oh, no, it's not. Couple series down. But Dork Diaries are incredibly popular. We own all of them in Overdrive. We have them on our shelves. Well, we try to keep them on our shelves, but it's hard to do. So they're very popular. So I thought, as a companion to Dork Diaries by Rachel Renee Russell, I would introduce a series that I'm fond of, that Lucy is as well, and it's Baby Mouse Tales from the Locker. Now here's the really interesting thing. Most of the time you get a chapter book series and then the author writes graphic novels afterwards. This is the reverse. Baby Mouse started as a graphic novel series, and we own all of them, and they're super cute. And then Jennifer Holm decided to write a chapter book series, or rather a hybrid novel series of Baby Mouse. So she went in the opposite direction. And I love these because they capture all the ups and downs of middle school, and they do it in such a clever way. And of course you've got Baby Mouse here rocking the hot pink, Felicia Furry Paws, her frenemy, her nemesis, and I believe Miss Lucy has something to share about Baby Mouse as well.
First thing, I wanted to tell you a little secret right now.
Ooh. If you look right behind us, you may see Daddy Cardinal at our bird feeder at our house. We just thought we'd share that little Easter egg with you.
Go, Lizard, go.
But Baby Mouse is a fantastic series because, like I said, she's a lot of fun. We all remember middle school, maybe in good ways, maybe in bad, and she has her ups and downs, but she stays true to herself and her whiskers, and I really appreciate that about her.
Her whiskers are curly by Felicia Furry Paws, also aka Mackenzie Hollister.
Basically.
Basically. Technically she has straight whiskers and she's very, very popular. But poor Baby Mouse is very unpopular and has curly whiskers. And sometimes she tries to get them straight with glue by putting fake whiskers on.
Okay.
Yeah, but she ends up losing her own whiskers.
But what I like about Nikki from the Dork Diaries and Baby Mouse from the Baby Mouse series is that at the end of the day they realize being popular is not all that it's cracked up to be. It's not all that there is. And there's something to being kind. And being kind is more important than being popular. And being yourself is more important than trying to be somebody else. So I love that these books tackle those really important themes, but they do so in a really fun and creative and kid-friendly way.
There's a lizard staring.
So I think both of those series are really well done in that way because they capture how kids can be feeling, but at the same time remind them to be themselves. Now remember, I said Dork Diaries was kind of the female companion to another series that's wildly popular, and this is the series that Lucy's going to introduce. What is this?
Diary of a Wimpy Kid, I love it! Oh, poor lizard, I scared you away.
Oh my goodness, you got so excited you scared Mr. Lizard away, Lucy. Goodness gracious.
But shoo. So Diary of a Wimpy Kid, I have my own tablet and I keep downloading every single book. Every single book is on place hold, and I'm trying to place hold every single one, and I'm like deleting the boring ones my mom downloads. And I'm like replacing them all with Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So now I have all the Diary of a Wimpy Kids on place hold right now. And so I love Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I haven't read all the books, but I love it. because it's very funny. It's about a boy named Gregory Heffley, his life. It's kind of like a diary, and he has a older brother named Roderick, and he has a little brother named Manny. Manny is a very, very much troublemaker, and he's always like, in the book I just read, he hacked into Greg's Net Critters account, and he figured out how to change the password. So now Gregory's little friend is starved and is really mad. So I'm really interested in these books because they leave you on a cliffhanger, and then the next chapter like gives it all, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so interested in this, because it's very, very interesting. And Roderick has a band, and he hates Greg, but Greg hates Manny and Roderick, and Manny hates both his older brothers. And sometimes Greg even says, why was I not born a single child? So like, it's very fun, very, very fun.
I don't think they hate each other as much as sometimes they just don't understand each other, and they get on each other's nerves, like all siblings do from time to time. So there is a really funny series of books. They've made them into movies as well. And it says over here, over 200 million books sold. I believe that, because once again, one of those books that as soon as we have a new one, they usually come out every November. And by the time the book finally releases in November, the wait list is a mile long. So I'm not surprised that Lucy encountered placehold on most of these series books in Overdrive. Now, in fairness to delete all of Mom's boring books, we're still reading some Beverly Cleary at night with Ramona, so not all of Mom's picks are boring, so to speak. Whatever. Now, for our last title, I wanted to introduce Dragon Breath, Danny Dragon Breath. Maybe part of the reason I like this series is because my husband's name is Danny.
He can't breathe fire, but he has no fear.
All right. He can't breathe fire, but he has no fear. Absolutely. And Dragon Breath is just a really funny series. There's about 12 or 13 books in the entire series, and then the author, Ursula Vernon, went on to write the Hamster Princess series, which is also another fun series, very similar to Dragon Breath. So they're just funny books. You know, there's all sorts of crazy things happening. I think there's one about Attack of the Rabbits or something like that. I mean, I don't even remember anymore. But if you like your books with a good heavy dose of humor, then Dragon Breath is definitely your speed, as is Hamster Princess. So again, this is just a small sampling of the graphic novels and hybrid novels that the library has to offer. Just a few of our favorites. I couldn't even cover all of our favorites without going on for probably another couple of hours. But we really recommend that you comment on this video and let us know what your favorite graphic novel and hybrid novel series are. In fact, that's the thing I want to remind you of. Please share, like, and comment on this video. Help us go viral.
Face. Don't forget the smiley face. We're nice people.
We're nice people.
We always want to add a smiley face to everything.
Yes. And we want you to share, like, and comment this video because we want to get it out to as many readers as possible. We want parents and grandparents to know.
And we want people to feel happy, because if you share, and like first you like, then you share with other people, then they like, and people start commenting, and it shares to the whole world. And then everybody can feel happy, and they can all read books that they like that we share. So we all want to get through this on these tough times with COVID-19. So we're all in this together, and we're all going to be okay. So please share so some people that don't really have anything to do can read really fun books, and they can have their day turn their frowns upside down.
Gosh, it's hard to add much of anything to that. Thank you so much, Liz. The only thing I was going to add is just so that grandparents and parents know that graphic novels and hybrid novels are absolutely books. If your kids or grandkids are reading them, they are absolutely reading. They are reading real literature, and it's all in in the spirit of keeping them reading, getting them excited about reading, and having some fun, especially over the summertime, because that's the time when you should be able to just read anything and read for the fun of it. So in addition to sharing, liking, and commenting about this video, and thank you for all the things that you said, Lucy, the last thing I wanted to mention is that you can view our videos on YouTube. A few days after this video airs on Facebook, it is going to, and is archived on Facebook. It will also be on our YouTube channel for the library, which is SJC Library Vid. So if you search SJC Library Vid on YouTube, you can see not only this presentation, you can see all the presentations we've been doing all the way back since the middle of March. So you can watch some of our older presentations. Lucy and I did our first one on Great Family Read Aloud. So if you'd like to see more of me and Lucy, check that one out. And we're going to be coming back for another 2 videos this summer. Yes, Lucy?
So I just wanted to say one more thing before we end this. I'm going to say it one more time. Grandparents, kids, and adults, we are all in this together in COVID-19, and we all want everybody to feel happy. So we're all in this together, and we're gonna get through this perfectly fine. So I just wanted to say that one more time to make sure everybody feels happy and turns their frown upside down. So I really wanted to say that. So over to my mom.
Well, thank you, Lucy, and we hope that during these tough times you also find a lot of really wonderful things to read at your library, whether you check out the print copies of the books or the downloadable books. And certainly take care, be safe, be well, and we'll see you next time.
And we're all in this together. Bye.
Bye.